Did you know a country recently deployed its military to protect a dam due to a power crisis?
Or how about a country that announced 8-hour power cuts every night to manage its energy shortage?
Even more surprising, the same country has declared a curfew during these power cuts to prevent any disruptions.
And did you know this country is suffering from a severe water crisis, which is one of the major causes of the power shortage?
Want to know which country this is and what's really going on there? You must know the answer. Come on, let's dive in and explore what's happening in Ecuador, a beautiful country in South America, and the critical lesson nature is trying to teach us. Hi, welcome back to Listen and Learn English. I'm John.
And I'm Sarah. We're excited to be here with you today.
Today, we're tackling a major crisis in Ecuador, a warning sign for the world. What's happening? How did it start? And how does it connect to climate change? Stay with us as we break it all down.
Throughout this session, you'll explore different sentence structures, phrases, and expand your vocabulary. Whether you're a beginner or refining your English, this is a great way to listen and learn English while discussing important topics. Stay tuned until the end for explanations and answers. Let's get started.
Well, Sarah, have you heard about Ecuador's water and power crisis?
I've heard bits and pieces. First, where exactly is Ecuador?
Ecuador is in northwestern South America. It borders Colombia, Peru, and the Pacific Ocean. It also includes the famous Galapagos Islands.
What's the population and political situation there?
Ecuador has about 18 million people, with a mix of ethnic groups. Politically, it's a democratic republic, but it's facing tough times with economic struggles and social unrest. Mr. Daniel Noboa is the current president of the country.
When did this crisis start?
It began in early 2023. Droughts, infrastructure failures, and the El Niño effect caused major issues.
El Niño effect? What exactly is El Niño?
El Niño is when the Pacific Ocean's surface warms up. This change messes with global weather, floods in some areas, droughts in others.
So, how is it affecting Ecuador?
They're dealing with power cuts, water shortages, and disruptions in agriculture and industry. It's hitting their economy hard.
What's daily life like for people?
People are struggling with long blackouts and limited water. Agriculture's down, businesses are suffering, and public health is a concern.
I also heard something about an 8-hour power cut being announced. Can you explain what's happening with that?
Starting from 10 p.m. on Monday, September 23, 2024, Ecuador's government announced daily 8-hour power cuts due to the ongoing drought and reduced capacity of hydroelectric dams to generate sufficient electricity. The government attributed this to both poor maintenance of existing dams and delays in securing contracts for new power projects, as well as the worst drought in 61 years. These power cuts are impacting households and industries nationwide, and it remains unclear how long they will last.
An 8-hour power cut from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. is a long stretch. It leaves the entire night without electricity, which raises safety concerns. There's also the risk of unplanned power outages. I heard the Ecuadorian government deployed the military to safeguard a dam. What's going on there?
Yes, the military has been stationed at the Mazar Dam, which generates 170 megawatts of power. Ecuador's defense ministry reported that around 50 soldiers, trained to operate the hydroelectric system, will help manage the dam's operations. With the power crisis worsening, there's concern about potential sabotage or unrest, so the military is ensuring the dam stays secure and functional.
And I also heard there's a curfew too. Is that because of the power cuts?
Yes, The government has also announced a curfew in certain areas. This is to prevent looting or unrest during the long blackouts. The lack of electricity at night is making some regions more vulnerable. The curfew aims to maintain order. The National Police stated that around 46,000 officers will be deployed across the country during the power cuts. Patrols will increase in high-risk areas such as roads and prisons.
I heard Ecuador has already been dealing with violence and crime.
Yes, Ecuador's homicide rate has skyrocketed from 13.7% in 2021 to 45% in 2023, making it one of the most violent countries in Latin America. The situation was already bad, with prison riots and gang violence prompting a state of emergency. Now, with the power cuts, the government has to double down on security, deploying even more military and police to maintain control.
People aren't just dealing with water shortages and blackouts. They're also facing military protection and curfews. That's a lot for them to handle.
It really is. These measures show how serious the situation is and how hard the government is trying to avoid further chaos while working on solutions.
What has the government done so far?
They've rationed water and power, focused on repairing infrastructure, and are asking for international aid.
How long will this go on?
Experts predict the crisis might last into 2024. Full recovery depends on infrastructure repairs and the unpredictable weather.
How does Ecuador compare to neighboring countries?
Peru and Colombia are also dealing with droughts, but Ecuador's reliance on hydroelectric power makes it more vulnerable.
Is the global community helping?
Yes, organizations like the UN and World Bank are offering financial aid. But the scale of the problem requires more cooperation.
Is this all because of climate change?
Definitely. Climate change has increased droughts and disrupted weather patterns, directly affecting Ecuador's water and power supplies.
This reminds me of Cape Town's Day Zero water crisis in 2018. Is Ecuador close to Day Zero?
Not yet, but they're inching closer. The droughts and failing infrastructure are serious threats, especially with climate change.
Here, I want to give an explanation about Day Zero, for those who are not familiar with that term. Day Zero inch refers to the point at which a region's water supply is depleted and taps run dry. The term was first used during the 2018 water crisis in Cape Town, South Africa, when the city came dangerously close to running out of water. Today, it's a global term that signifies the looming risk of severe water shortages caused by factors like climate change, overpopulation, and inadequate water resource management. Okay, John, who else is at risk of Day Zero?
Top 10 countries at risk include South Africa, India, Brazil, Australia, Mexico, Iran, Egypt, Kenya, Morocco, and Pakistan. Some are dangerously close.
When might they reach Day Zero?
It depends on each region. Cities like Cape Town, Sao Paulo, and Chennai could face it again in the next decade if conditions don't improve.
What about India?
India is in trouble. Chennai faced a major crisis in 2019, and other cities like Delhi and Bangalore are at risk due to overpopulation and groundwater depletion.
Could you briefly explain the Chennai water crisis in 2019?
The Chennai water crisis of 2019 was a severe water shortage in Chennai, India. The city's 4 main reservoirs dried up. This was due to delayed monsoons, over-extraction of groundwater, and insufficient water infrastructure. As a result, millions of residents struggled with access to clean drinking water. Chennai faced a Day Zero scenario. This crisis highlighted the threat of water scarcity in urban areas and emphasized the need for sustainable water management solutions.
That's alarming. So, what should we do to avoid Day Zero?
Here are a few key steps. 1. Conserve water everywhere, whether it is a home, farms, and industries. 2. Harvest rainwater and recharge groundwater. 3. Fix old infrastructure to stop leaks. 4. Invest in desalination plants and wastewater recycling. And 5. Push for stronger climate action.
It's clear we need to act fast. These are serious issues, and they require global cooperation.
Exactly. This is about more than Ecuador or India. It's a global wake-up call.
Well, now it's time to wrap up today's call. Before we close, let's go over a few vocabulary words and phrases with examples. The first word is drought. Drought means a long period with little or no rainfall, leading to water shortages. Examples: the farmers are struggling because the region is experiencing a severe drought. During the drought, many rivers dried up, making it difficult to find clean drinking water.
The second one is disruption. Disruption means an interruption or disturbance that affects normal operations. Example: the power outage caused a major disruption to businesses across the city. Traffic disruptions due to construction work delayed the deliveries.
The third one is long blackouts. Long blackouts refers to extended periods without electricity. Examples: the long blackouts in the city left people without lights or communication for hours. During the long blackouts, families relied on candles and battery-powered radios.
The fourth one is reliance. Reliance means dependence on something or someone for support or help. Examples: the town's reliance on hydroelectric power made it vulnerable to droughts. Heavy reliance on imported goods has increased costs for local businesses.
The fifth one is vulnerable. Vulnerable means exposed to the possibility of harm or attack. Weak and unprotected. Examples: without enough food and water, the village became vulnerable to disease. Coastal cities are vulnerable to rising sea levels caused by climate change.
The sixth one is deploy. Deploy means to send or position resources, especially for military or emergency purposes. Examples: the government decided to deploy the military to protect the dam. Emergency teams were deployed to help flood victims in the affected areas.
The seventh one is ethnic groups. Ethnic groups refers to groups of people who share a common culture, language, ancestry, or historical background. These groups often have distinct traditions, customs, and beliefs.
The eighth one is inching closer. Inching closer refers to gradually moving towards something, often referring to a slow but steady approach to a particular situation or goal.
And the last one is desalination plants. Desalination plants refers to facilities that remove salt and other impurities from seawater to produce fresh water, making it safe for drinking and other uses. Hey listeners! We've come across terms like sabotage, homicide, and double down on security in today's discussion. Can you share your explanations for these in the comments below? Let's see what you think. Great! So far, we've covered different sentence structures, vocabulary, and new phrases. We hope you found this session informative and useful for learning English. Remember, consistency is key to mastering English. So, subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.
Also, don't forget to click the bell icon and select all to get notifications about our new videos.
Please like, comment, share and support us. We will see you soon with a different topic in the next video. Until then, it's goodbye from Sarah
and John. Happy learning!